A few years ago, a client walked into my clinic with slumped shoulders and tired eyes. Successful on paper, respectable family, decent income, but inside he felt like a fraud. Every compliment bounced off him, every criticism stayed for days. He said something that still stays with me. "Doctor, I don't feel free inside. It's like something is always tight here." He pointed to his chest. That moment is where today's topic truly begins. We often think self-esteem lives in thoughts, in affirmations, in confidence techniques. But what if a large part of self-worth is energetic? What if the way you value yourself is quietly shaped by subtle blocks inside your own system? Today, let's explore the chakra system and self-esteem, energetic blocks to inner freedom. Modern life has trained us to live from the neck up. We analyze, plan, compare, scroll, judge. But ancient traditions saw the human being as a layered system: body, breath, emotion, mind, and energy. Long before therapy rooms existed, yogic psychology mapped inner experience through chakras, subtle centers that influence how we feel safe, how we relate, how we express, how we love, and how we perceive meaning. Self-esteem in this view is not a single trait. It is the result of harmony across multiple levels of being. Low self-esteem is rarely just negative thinking. It is usually stored tension, suppressed emotion, interrupted development, unprocessed survival stress. And that brings us to the real question. Why do intelligent, capable people still feel not enough? Why does confidence vanish in relationships? Why does the voice tighten during confrontation? Why does success feel hollow for some while others radiate quiet dignity without trying? Is it really just psychology, or is there something deeper happening beneath awareness? Here comes our core assumption. The chakra system assumes that life energy flows vertically through the body, and each chakra governs a fundamental human need. When energy flows freely, you feel grounded, expressive, emotionally open, empowered, intuitive, and connected. When energy is blocked, you don't just feel off. You build personality adaptations around that block. You become people-pleasing when your heart chakra contracts. You overwork when your solar plexus feels unsafe. You stay silent when your throat chakra shuts down. You seek validation when your root lacks stability. Self-esteem then becomes a compensation strategy, not an inner state. Now let's gently walk through the structure. At the base is the root chakra. This is survival, safety, belonging to earth. When this is disturbed early in life through instability, criticism, or fear-based environments, a person grows up feeling fundamentally unsafe. No matter how much they achieve, something inside whispers, "You could lose everything." This creates anxiety-driven self-worth. Next comes the sacral chakra. This governs emotion, pleasure, creativity, and connection. If emotional expression was discouraged or shamed in childhood, this center tightens. Adults then struggle with intimacy, joy, and self-acceptance. They may look confident but feel emotionally numb or dependent on external approval. Then the solar plexus. This is your personal power, boundaries, decision-making, healthy ego. This is where self-esteem becomes visible. When this chakra is blocked, people doubt themselves, avoid conflict, procrastinate, or over-control. When overactive, they become dominating or perfectionistic. Balanced solar plexus feels like calm confidence, not loud authority. The heart chakra sits at the center. It bridges lower survival energies with higher awareness. This governs love for self and others. Many people carry deep wounds here from betrayal, abandonment, or emotional neglect. A blocked heart produces harsh self-judgment. You may forgive others easily, but punish yourself endlessly. Then comes the throat chakra, expression, truth, voice. If you learned that speaking honestly leads to rejection or punishment, this center constricts. You swallow feelings, you smile while hurting. Over time, self-esteem erodes because your authentic self never gets airtime. Above that is the third eye, insight, inner guidance. When disconnected, people rely excessively on external opinions. They don't trust their own perception. Their self-worth depends on validation rather than inner clarity. Finally, the crown chakra, meaning, connection to something larger than personal identity. When this is dormant, life feels mechanical. Success feels empty. There is no inner anchor beyond roles and achievements. Together, these centers form a ladder of consciousness. Self-esteem is not located in one chakra. It is the collective harmony of all seven. Now let's talk function. Why does this matter psychologically? Because unresolved chakra blocks shape your nervous system patterns. A blocked root keeps your body in fight and flight. A wounded sacral creates emotional shutdown. A weak solar plexus generates learned helplessness. A closed heart produces chronic self-criticism. A silenced throat causes internalized stress. A foggy third eye creates confusion. A disconnected crown leads to existential emptiness. Suddenly, anxiety, depression, imposter syndrome, and burnout stop looking random. They become logical outcomes of disrupted inner flow. Even classical yogic texts like the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali emphasize inner purification before mental freedom, not as belief but as experiential science. Modern neuroscience now echoes this through body-based trauma therapy and vagus nerve research. The body remembers what the mind forgets. So when someone says, "I don't feel confident," what they often mean is, "My system does not feel safe enough to expand." Now, the limits. Chakras are not magic buttons. You don't fix lifelong self-esteem issues by wearing crystals or repeating affirmations in front of mirrors. Real change requires awareness, emotional processing, breathwork, movement, reflection, and sometimes therapy. Another limit is spiritual bypassing. Some people jump straight to crown chakra ideas while ignoring unresolved root and heart wounds. They talk about enlightenment but cannot tolerate criticism. That is not integration. That is escape. Also, chakra language should not replace medical or psychological care when needed. It complements it. Think of it as an inner map, not a replacement for treatment. And finally, interpretation varies across traditions. Use what resonates, discard what doesn't. Inner freedom is not about belief, it is about lived experience. Now comes the most important part, integration. How do you bring this into daily life? Start with body awareness. Notice where tension lives when you feel insecure. Is it in your belly? Solar plexus. Chest tight? Heart. Jaw clenched? Throat. Lower back heavy? Root. Breathing into these areas daily already begins rebalancing. Second, emotional honesty. Let yourself feel without immediately fixing. Energy flows where attention goes. Third, conscious boundaries. Saying no strengthens solar plexus more than any affirmation ever will. Fourth, creative expression. Writing, music, movement, even honest conversation opens sacral and throat centers. Fifth, grounding practices. Walking barefoot, slow yoga, mindful eating stabilize the root. Sixth, reflection and meditation reconnect third eye and crown. And most importantly, self-compassion. Healing is not a project, it is a relationship with yourself. Remember that client I mentioned? We didn't start with confidence coaching. We started with breath, with feeling his feet on the floor, with allowing sadness in the chest. 3 months later, he said something beautiful. I didn't become fearless.
I became kinder to myself, and somehow confidence followed. That is chakra psychology in real life. Not dramatic awakenings, quiet alignment. So here's the truth in simple words. Self-esteem is not something you build. It is something that returns when inner energy flows freely. Inner freedom is not achieved by becoming someone new. It emerges when blocked parts of you finally feel safe to come home. Let me conclude with this. If you are struggling with self-worth, don't ask what's wrong with me. Ask instead, where in my body am I holding my story? Because your confidence is not broken, it is waiting. If this perspective resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and share your experience or questions. And if you found this valuable, please like, share and subscribe to the channel. It helps this work reach people who need it. Until next time, take care of your inner energy. It's doing more for you than you realize.